am pleased and honored by the overflow crowd in the room, as well it should be. I'm going to be mostly talking about WordPress and tools for using WordPress. WordPress is an online publishing system that is used by people around the world. I'll be talking more about it. It was developed by bloggers, but is now used by major websites. If you go to the New Yorker website, that is actually WordPress, customized WordPress. So what I've been working on for a number of years is a system for extending WordPress to serve the needs of Toastmasters clubs, so that you can have your agenda there and so forth. I've been using some version of this video for several years. So if you're searching for an awesome Toastmasters club, we want to make it easy to find your way to it. We want you to be able to find other clubs like online presenters and find out special things that they're doing, like holding their webinar contest and who just won their webinar contest. But we also want this to be a productivity tool for your club. So another thing you can do is come in here and sign up for a speech. And as soon as you sign up for a speech, it prompts you to sign up for another speech or sign up for something else. So once we get you into the system, we're trying to keep you engaged. So again, who uses WordPress? It is used by major websites. I mentioned the New Yorker, Time Magazine. If you go to the Walt Disney corporate site, so it's not the place where you sign up for Disney World tickets, but if you go to the place where they have their investor relations and their press releases, that's a WordPress site. And one of the advantages is this is what's called open source software. So everybody who uses this software, who discovers something cool and improved that they can do with it, they can contribute that back to the community. And I'm trying to contribute something back to the WordPress community, or the Toastmasters community. So the way this works is I have a couple of enhancements on top of the basic WordPress system. One is a plugin called RSVP Maker that's used for doing event scheduling, event promotion, event registrations. You can collect payments via PayPal and some other online payment systems. So if you wanted to collect money for your a TLI on this system, you could. The district doesn't, but they could. And then RSVP Maker for Toastmasters is the agenda management system. Now I'm going to try and talk more broadly for those of you who don't want to dump your current club website and move to WordPress. There are definitely principles about what I'm talking about here that you can apply to other platforms. So the default thing that you get steered towards when you create a Toastmasters club is something called Free Toast Host. That's the toastmastersclub.org site. So you can get a free website there. That's what most clubs do. So it's sort of the default path. This stuff is free too. It's free software. There is a free website that I've personally set up that I'm trying to get sponsors for. In fact, I have a sponsor in the room. Where's Jim Barber? Jim Barber back here. Jim put a promotion and ad for a service called speakerpromo.com. So that will start running on the site very shortly. So he's helping me try and keep it financially solvent. But clubs in general, I did try charging clubs to set up a website, and that didn't work because nobody has any money. So I'm trying to find a way to make it free and to find sponsors who are interested in connecting with the Toastmasters audience. There's also, the other customization is the branding customization. And I've gone several rounds with Toastmasters International's brand police, trying to make sure that I'm not getting in trouble by the way I'm presenting the brand on the website, which you can get in trouble. So there's a theme called Lectern, and again, this is available for free through WordPress.org. And I'll be talking more about a service that has this all pre-configured. But you can select from a number of standard Toastmasters banners. But what's really important is the stuff that goes in the middle. It's the content about what makes your club special. And I think what I really want to do is to encourage you to be more ambitious with what you do with your club website. Don't just put a picture on the home page of a bunch of people smiling and holding ribbons. Try and show some action. So action photos and video. I'm going to talk, I'd say next to WordPress, one of the main topics of my talk is going to be using video. Because not everybody who's in Toastmasters is a natural writer or blogger, but we all get up and give speeches. Those speeches can be video recorded. The video recordings can be uploaded to YouTube, and the YouTube links can be posted into your website very easily. I did also want to mention that to a decent extent, this website framework also works on your mobile phone. So you can navigate around. I have gone in and signed up for roles or edited the agenda from my mobile phone in a pinch. So WordPress, WP for Toastmasters.com is where you would find all the documentation and explanation of how to do things with the software. And then Toastmasters.org is where you can go in and you can sign up for a free website. So basically you register, you get yourself on the mailing list, and you can create a site for your own club. You can experiment with it before you publish it, before you share it with anybody else, to see if it actually meets your needs. And then if you decide to move forward with it, you can. I would say it is particularly valuable if you are starting a new club, so you don't have an old club website that you need to transition off of. Also, if your club is in somewhat of a turnaround condition, if you're trying to inject new life, if you really need to attract new members to build up your club, then this may be worth looking into for you to making that transition. So one of the things we try and do with the agenda system is to get people to sign up for specific speech projects. So this is something that I prepared just for my club, because we do pass around a paper sign-up sheet at meetings. Because not everybody is that attuned to doing the online thing. But ideally, I would like them to come into the website afterwards and put in the specific speech project. And the system tries to calculate the time that will be required for that, too. And again, it tries to encourage people that once they've signed up for one thing, to come in and sign up for another. And you notice that because I just signed up for something in Pathways, Dynamic Leadership, Level 4, it remembers that I'm working on that track, that path. And so it tries to make it easy for me to come back and find that.
Part of what this allows me to do.
Now, one of the benefits of gathering that detailed information is that we can have a complete record of all our speeches in the system. And if you put in the title, then the title record will be there. So you need to gather this up and submit it for an award. You've got all this information. Of course, you're hearing a lot about Pathways. It does also track the information for Pathways separately in here. Pathways has Basecamp, which is kind of a record-keeping system too. But Pathways doesn't really help you organize your meetings. Whereas this will give you a nicely printed out agenda that you can format, and it has the clues to when the green, yellow, and red light should come on for the speech. You can have detailed speech introductions as something additional for the Toastmaster of the day to print out prior to the meeting. And one of the points of doing this is to have access to a blog. And maybe you're saying, well, I'm not a blogger. I don't have to be a blogger. A blog is just an easy way of posting new content online. So if a member won a contest, even if it's not the World Championship, even if it's a regional or an area contest, make a big deal out of it. Video record their speech and post that on the web. And I talk a little bit more about the mechanics of doing the video as well. But once we've got it on the website, we can also cross-promote this on Facebook and other social media. Part of what I'm trying to do here, when I post something on social, I definitely am trying to get the attention of other Toastmasters and give recognition to that member who's done something extraordinary. But I'm also trying to catch the attention of all those other people out in the world who don't know what the heck Toastmasters is, right? Or they vaguely heard about it and they think it sounds deadly boring. They think it sounds like a bunch of people who get together and give PowerPoint presentations to each other. How much fun does that sound? So we need to demonstrate to people that it is fun, that it is engaging, that it is worthwhile. And this is one of several techniques that I've used, but when I post something, I'll come in afterwards and post a comment that says, come meet us any Friday, here's a link to our website, and I always like the tagline, you can be an awesome Toastmaster too. Another technique is to take that video and upload it directly into Facebook so people can play it without leaving the Facebook platform. But then you still want to have a link back to your website because that's where people can find all the details about where and when you meet, how to get involved, all the messaging about how much you will welcome them as a guest. All right. So, video. One of the ways of gathering video on a more regular basis is by telling people that you're not going to make them a video star until they are ready to be a video star. So what I do is I post things on YouTube, which is an easy distribution method. But YouTube has a status called unlisted. And that allows me to send out the link to the speaker and maybe to the other members who missed somebody's icebreaker, want to go back and watch it. So we share the video within the club, and then we look for opportunities where somebody gave a dynamite speech. And then we might promote those publicly. Okay, so get their permission first. You can set a YouTube account to make unlisted the default, which is what we've done for Club Awesome. And so this is me using a smartphone after a meeting. So I'll go into the YouTube app on my phone. And if you click the little camera icon at the top, that is the upload function. Here are a bunch of videos from this week's meeting. And it will let me type in the details, the speech title and so forth, but I actually skip that step because I can go back and I can do it on my PC later and it'll be easier. So I post a couple of things through here and I get them uploaded. And what I'm using actually is my old, this is it right here. This is my old phone, the one that I never got around to trading in and giving back to Sprint. How many of you have an old phone that still works? So what you do is you disable the cell plan on it, you get it on Wi-Fi, our facility happens to use Wi-Fi, so I can start the videos uploading before we even leave the meeting. Then this other tool is I go into YouTube and one of the other little goodies that I have on the back end of the WordPress site in the administrators area is this tool for posting video and sharing them with the group. And it actually shows me the videos of the people who spoke this week. So I can just check those off and I can copy. She took the time to put in her speech title. So I'll put in her name and title. into YouTube. And again, this is still unlisted, so we're not making her famous, not just yet. All right. Make sure she's ready before we take that step. We'll copy this as well. And again, this is my technique. I'm not even sure anybody else uses this tool, to be honest with you, because it's one of the things that's kind of buried in the software. Now, what I do then is I copy this. I just highlight all that stuff, and I do Control-C to copy. I paste it in here. I call this sloppy copy and paste method of integration. And it extracts the video links, grabs the titles, and here is a preview of what our email out to the distributed out to members looks like. So I send this off, and if I go into my Gmail, here is what I've just sent out to the group. Now I could customize that more. I could add a personal note up top about so-and-so did a great job. And there's also a little disclaimer down the bottom saying, we use video first and foremost as an educational tool. Don't share these without the speaker's permission. Okay? We needed to make people comfortable, particularly at first. Right now it's just part of the club culture. So a guest comes in, they see that we recorded the speeches, they've been forewarned, and so we haven't had too much of an issue with people saying that they don't want to be recorded. I always tell them that I can go back and I can destroy the evidence if necessary.
Excuse me, Dave, you can ask permission for recording the people.
Right, you can, and I think there's even a formal, Toastmasters has an official video release form that they want you to use. But we're using this on a routine basis, and so we don't want to add too much overhead. We just have an understanding with our members. And I do the same thing with my online club. At the beginning of every meeting, I say, this meeting will be recorded. Your face may show up on social media. If you want to run away screaming, do so now. And mostly they don't run away screaming. There was somebody at the very beginning who said, I don't want to be a member of this club because you posted recordings of the meetings. So, yes, John.
Do we have your permission for you to send that out to us? Because you went through that so fast that I didn't get.
Well, I'm trying to squeeze a lot into a short period of time.
Share the video with
but actually, I am going to share all of this afterwards. And did you pass up the handouts? So there may not have been enough handouts, but if you search on the words WordPress and Toastmasters, you'll find this website. There's a blog post at the very top that is basically my notes for this meeting,
One question. So
including some of the videos.
at the meetings, you take the videos with your phone, right?
I've been doing that recently. We had because it connects to Wi-Fi and I can start uploading them immediately.
Oh.
So, again, like I said, if you have somebody who has an old phone that they'll donate to the cause, or you can use your own phone. Let's see. Sorry. Just a moment. I wanted to give a preview of one thing that is new. Is there anybody in the room who actually uses this software? I think there are a few. Ooh, all of one. Okay. Well, thank you. So I do have one thing I'm going to show that is new. This is so there is the WordPress platform itself is going through a major overhaul where when WordPress 5.0 comes out in either August or maybe September, they have a new editor experience. And when you organize your agenda, in my approach, you create a document, just like, sort of like you're creating a blog post, except that instead of a paragraph, you're inserting a member role. And I'm having to redo that system. So this is just a quick glimpse of how this is going to work. I think it is going to be an improvement. So this is just showing how the new WordPress editor works. So normally you just go in, you start typing. You're really working in a document. But if you notice, the area on the right will actually change when I go from the paragraph to the list. It comes up with a bunch of controls that are specific to the list. And so I can change that from a bullet list to a numbered list. There's just the idea that, or if I pasted in a YouTube link, the embedded video would be a different kind of a component. And if we go out and view that, we'll see how that's formatted. So let me show you what the agenda editor then looks like. So we have these areas that I call agenda notes that are basically stage directions, like the Sergeant of Arms opens the meeting, leads the Pledge of Allegiance, I'll add a little bit, and I might allocate a little bit more time to that on the agenda too. And then each role can be specified here. And for speakers, we might have multiple speakers on our agenda. We only have one Toastmaster of the day, and we set the amount of time that's going to be allowed for that role at that portion of the meeting. And if I want to move these around, I can drag and drop, or there are these little arrow buttons that allow me to move things up and down. So I can change it from 3 speakers to 4, change the time allowed. Yes, I see it. All right. And here I was creating a template, so I'll go out and based on the schedule that I've established, I can create a whole bunch of events. And if I view that, I should see that there are now 4 speaker slots here. Well, the video goes on for a little bit longer than that, but I am out of time. That is my contact information. Again, if you search for WordPress for Toastmasters, you'll find the website, you'll find me. I'm happy to, I guess I probably have to get out of the room, but I'm happy to stick around and answer more questions, show you stuff from the laptop. Yes?
I actually wanted to give you guys a plug on Toastmasters. While I was at one of the other sessions, it took me 10 minutes to create a whole agenda and email it out to everyone so that they know what the agenda is. So,
Right.
Awesome job.
So, yeah, I was a VP of Education when I started working on this. So I've always looked at it as something to make you more productive, save you time in planning your meetings, and to make your members feel good about the experience.